Hi, Haim. First, if you can present yourself.
I'm Professor Haim Bresheeth at SOAS in London, and I'm a historian of genocide and also historian of media coverage of different genocides.
Okay. So you are very linked about genocide, and you talk about your family history. What could you tell us?
Well, my family is odd because both of my parents survived Auschwitz. They were Polish Jews. They lived 5 years in the ghetto, and the last year they were in Auschwitz, and somehow they survived it, but taken to other camps after Auschwitz. When Auschwitz was closed in January 1945, my mother was marched to Germany, to Bergen-Belsen, and my father was marched to Austria, to a terrible camp called Gusen II. And they spent the time until the end of the war in those camps. Both of them ended up the war liberated by the Americans in my father's case, and my mother was liberated by the British. They both were 32 kilos when they were freed. They met in the north of Italy, which they walked to from the camps. They married there, and I was born in Rome in a refugee camp in 1946. So that's my background. I was taken as a baby to Israel in 1948, and we lived in a flat in Jaffa, actually in a place called Jabalia, which is where the people from Jabalia in Gaza have come. You know, they came from Jabalia in Jaffa. So we were there, like most of the survivors. We were given a place that was cleared by force. The Palestinians were expelled into boats, and those boats ended up in Gaza. So most of the people from Jaffa ended up in Gaza.
So, do you talk about this big tradition of coexistence in Al-Andalus? So, what you can tell us about that and the relation with the actual the struggle right now?
Well, because we're supporting one state, and people are saying to us, it never existed. So I wanted to say, you're wrong. It did exist. It existed in Palestine. It existed in Al-Andalus. It existed in North Africa. Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived together for thousands of years, and they lived together well. The only place where they didn't live well was Europe. Europe was a racist country, a terrifying place to live if you were a Jew or a Muslim. And I'm not just talking about the Crusades, I'm talking about whole centuries of racism towards the other in Europe. Europe has invented the Holocaust, has invented the clearing of North America and South America, invented genocide. So I think it's a terrible history that Europe has played in my life, in your life, in the life of Jews and Muslims everywhere. And indeed also Christians, because I don't believe most Christians want to kill people. But that's what they did in North America, in South America. So it was very important for me to say, you are wrong when you are telling people that they should hate each other, that if you're Jewish, you should hate the Palestinians. We as Jews lived everywhere in peace and we did not commit genocide. Yeah, the Muslims did not commit genocide. The Crusades did not happen because of genocide. The Crusades happened because of European racism. So we are talking about situations that for hundreds of years, sometimes thousands, people lived together, and they lived together very, very well, and they helped each other to achieve amazing things, like in Al-Andalus. So it's important to remind people that history is full of examples of life together, which is not just possible, but is better. That's the main thing.
So, last question. You talk about the specifics of this genocide, the genocide that's happening right now in Palestine. So, what you can tell us about that?
Well, I think it's in many ways the worst genocide that any of us have ever lived through, because it's so public. You know, when a genocide happens and you don't know about it, it doesn't mean to say that it's not terrible. But we are now sharing it. I mean, little children can see it on the telephone, how little children are blown to pieces. I think this is inhuman. It is the most publicized genocide. It's the only genocide I know when the genociders are full of glee and happiness that they are doing what they are doing. This is sick. Israel is living in a psychosis. They see themselves as the victims. How could the genocider be the victim? But Israelis believe that. I'm Israeli, I know them. I read them in Hebrew, not just in English and in French. And I know what they're saying to each other and what they're saying to me. My own family, I haven't spoken to since the 7th of October. But I know what they're saying and I know what they're doing. So this is a terrible thing for Jews that happened, because they made a genocide in our name. And I won't stand for it. You won't stand for it. None of us will stand for it. This is not in our name. This is not our genocide. We are not genociders, and they are not doing it to help us or anybody else. They're not even helping themselves. They are creating anti-Semitism everywhere for reasons that people understand. This is not about Jews drinking blood like in anti-Semitic, inventions. This is about Jews killing people as a Jewish state. It's sick. That's the only way I can describe it. It's deeply disturbed and deeply disturbing, and we will not agree to it, and we will fight it.
So, right now, final question. What's your balance about the conference?
I think the conference was excellent. It took me some time to understand the principle of organization, and I think it was very beautifully organized around ideas, around each of the sessions had a focus, had people that worked on it, published on it, gave interviews on it before, and could speak very clearly about the judicial, the political, the economic, the cultural aspects of the genocide, and also about what we do for the future. I mean, it's not enough to say this is terrible. It doesn't help anyone. We need to say what are we going to do anyway to finish Zionism. Zionism is a danger to everyone in the world. That's why hundreds of millions, probably billions now, are going into the streets in every single country and saying, no, we will not continue to entertain Zionism. Zionism is the problem. The genocide is what they do. So we need to finish Zionism. At the moment, the West is supporting Zionism. The West is supporting the genocide. I think this is a mark of the decline of the West, the decline of Western capitalism. It's very steep. It's very immoral. It's also illogical. How does this support of the genocide help the people of America, or help the people of Brazil, or help the people of France? Who is helped by this? Nobody is helped by this, apart from the people who make money for selling bombs and those politicians that support Israel. The whole world wants to end it. And I don't understand why we haven't managed to end it. Because if you ask people in the street, they are totally fed up with this. They are totally against it. Their leaders are criminals. They should be in the ICC and go to jail. All the leaders of the West have supported genocide. It's illegal, it's immoral, it's mad.